Hey everyone, my name is John Adair and I'm one of the elders here. We know that it's hard to understand our finances at the level you want when we only do a financial presentation live one Sunday. So we decided to do this via video. I'll also be available after church on Sunday, February the 21st, and my contact information is at the end of this video. We've said since day one, and it's true, we take transparency seriously, and you have a right to know how we steward our finances. So let's get started. 2017 was without a doubt one of the most challenging financial years in our 17-year history. The irony shouldn't be lost on any of us. The economy was strong, unemployment and even our benevolence needs were low. In fact, by every indication, we should not have struggled with giving. But we did, especially when you consider the inconsistency of our giving. Fortunately, we cut back on spending, and along with last-minute generous giving, we finished the year only slightly negative. And so we're entering 2018 by holding our controllable expenses consistent with last year, which, by the way, was consistent with the year before that. The challenge for us this coming year is to grow our giving and to do so consistently. So let's get started by taking a closer look at last year. Let's look at giving first. We started the year in fairly typical fashion and largely on track. However, June through October were unusually low, and we did not bounce back after summer as it normally does. After the announcement that we had a large deficit going into year-end, we saw a significant increase in one-time giving in December, so much so that it was the largest month in our history. But when our giving drops off in the summer months, it leads to two challenges. First, managing our expenses becomes a bit of a guessing game. Do we pull back to the detriment of our outreach into our community, or continue our outreach expecting that giving will bounce back? And second, nearly 3/4 of our expenses are fixed, and there's simply no way to instantly adjust rent or staffing. Imagine sitting down at your kitchen table, trying to plan your spending for the coming month. Would your salary be normal or half of normal? Would you get paid on the 15th and the 30th or just the 30th? Or would you have to take money from your rainy day fund just to make it through the month? None of us would feel comfortable under those circumstances, but that's where we found ourselves this last year. So, how did the year wind up? With a shortfall in giving came reduced spending. In some cases, such as benevolence, the need was simply less and our costs were lower. And in other cases, we simply cut back. Those of you who've been with ECF for a while know that our staff take managing our costs seriously, and we owe them a debt of gratitude as a result. We're also truly grateful to all of you that gave generously at year-end. Because of your response, we limited our deficit to $4,000 for the year. That was only the second time in our 17 years that we spent more than our giving. Now, we've been blessed over the years to consistently build a strong rainy day fund. Good stewardship requires us to do so, but using even $4,000 is more than we want. So, let's talk a little about the coming year. Even though costs in general will continue to increase, we expect to hold our total expenses nearly flat over last year. Our general operating and facilities costs are both going up this year just due to normal increases. For example, our office rent's going up roughly $15,000 based on our lease agreement, similar to how housing costs have increased in our area. Ministry costs like benevolence are also expected to increase slightly this year, although we know that they will vary based on need. And staffing costs are actually expected to decrease slightly as our staff have taken it upon themselves to help control costs by only taking modest or no raise, or have cut their hours. So if expenses are being held flat, what about giving? As I mentioned at the top, the key to this year is an increase in giving, but we have to do so consistently. Here's the good news. In total, we only need to increase our giving by about 5%. May or may not sound like a lot, but it's very achievable. And to each of us, it'll mean something different. Let's dispel the notion that 5% is a limit. It's not. Some of us will need to increase our giving much more. If we're blessed to be able to give more, we should. And in some cases, it may mean we start giving. Maybe you're new to ECF. Maybe it simply hasn't been your practice. This body needs each of us to participate in every way. And equally important, we need our giving to be consistent year-round, as our commitment to love, connect, and serve is year-round as well. Guys, I realize that whenever the discussion turns to money, people get uncomfortable, but Let's not. Jesus was very comfortable talking about money. So should we. One of the things foundational to ECF is we strive to be the family that God has called us to be. And in this regard, it means we have a transparent conversation about our finances and we respond as we've been blessed. I understand the financial challenges of daily living. I also know that we're called to be God's people to our neighbors, and that helps put things in perspective. On behalf of the elders and our staff, please know that we're privileged to serve alongside you as we work together to equip and encourage everyone that enters our doors to be devoted followers of Jesus. After all, that's what this is all about. If I can answer any questions, please don't hesitate to ask. And thanks for listening.